everyone, and welcome to Safety's webinar, Corona-Cation, How to Work from Home Securely. We'll wait another minute just so everybody has a chance to join. So bear with me for another minute, please. Okay, let's begin. So hi again, everyone. My name is Eitan Bremler, co-founder of Technology Safety. In this webinar today, we'll discuss how to work from home securely, especially during the whole Corona situation, which has forced organizations to really change the way they're working, right? So if before Corona, most of the organizations worked, most of the people from the office and some on the road and some from home, with the whole change that came through the Corona, it pushed people to work more from home, right? IT is now forced to take all of the employees, or a very high percentage of employees, and enable them to work from home. That puts, on the one hand, a lot of pressure on IT systems, on the remote access systems such as VPNs, for example, and on the other hand, also creates risks for the users themselves. We'll talk about both. So if we look at the effects of Corona, and you can see here quite a few headlines, all of the organizations sent people home, right? Told them from today to tomorrow, you're now working from home. Leave your computers, or if you have a laptop, take it with you. All of the organizations maintain computers on premise. Because, I'll give you an example. Think of an organization which has 1,000 employees, right? In a usual day-to-day operation, let's say 200 of them are remote workers on the road. These users have laptops, have VPN clients. They're used to work from home. All the other 800 employees are used to going to the office. So the whole VPN infrastructure, remote access infrastructure, is built for these 200 people who know what they're doing, who have their own managed machines. Now I have all of these, this Corona situation, I'm extending the 800 people to work from home as well. Now I have a lot of stuff I need to think about. One, I need my VPN, or my remote access technology, to certainly support 1,000 users. Not all VPNs were built. So if I had 200 users, I built my VPN most likely to support maybe 200, 300, not 1,000. So now there's a kind of, do I need to rip and replace? Can I add licenses? IT is now running to kind of make sure all the remote access and VPN infrastructure supports all of these users. On the other hand, these 800 users went home and are now connecting from their home computers, unmanaged computers. I need to install VPN clients on them. They're not necessarily up to spec in terms of operating system, in terms of antivirus, all of those systems. And now these computers are connecting into my network. So while everybody's pushing users to go and work from home, the risks and effects are immense, right? So it's not only the IT running now to support remote access, we have the risks. We have risks of infected machines, right? The fact that someone is now connecting from their home PC, it's unmanaged, I don't know where they're browsing, it might be infected with a myriad of viruses, who are now, through the VPN, potentially affecting my network. Hackers are looking for new users who suddenly need to start operating systems they never used to. They operate a VPN client connect remotely. These unsuspecting users who might open a spam email or a phishing email and, be targeted in order to intercept and connect into unsuspecting organizations. So all of these risks are stuff you take into account maybe after you send people to work from home. Now, most organizations use VPNs, right? That's the easiest thing. That's the most prevalent technology out there. So I'll just give these 800 new users, if we take the previous example, VPN clients, and have them connect. But what we've seen is that if you underestimate the VPN infrastructure, suddenly it overloads. And we've seen organizations, take out a few hours each day for different teams. So you can work from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then you need to disconnect, and then someone else connects from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., et cetera, in order to spread out the load on the VPNs. And then basically you did nothing because you sent people home, but they're not working full capacity. On top of this, like we said, endpoints might be infected. They're not managed machines. They might have ransomware on them, and all of that just flows through the VPN into your organization. And if you have cloud infrastructure, now you have all of these thousands of users going into your organization just to be backhauled out to the internet, right? So VPNs are not necessarily the correct technology for such a day-to-day switch of user behavior and of operations. Top of that, the fact that we're seeing a lot of vulnerabilities on VPNs over the last few months, right? We saw this before Corona. We see this now, but now VPNs are something much more used, right? There are many more users on every VPN infrastructure. So the vulnerabilities just became even worse because there are many more users to try and attack in order to compromise the VPN or utilize the vulnerability and exploit it on the VPN. Now, the whole use of VPNs as remote access is not new. I mean, the concerns and the issues are not new to the Corona, right? We saw this with the whole push to digital transformation. Just the whole Corona and COVID situation just made it worse. So VPNs are not really fitting current scenarios. Why? Because we have different types of users. Right? It's some of the employees I sent home who now need to connect to my VPN. I still have my contractors, my business partners. All of those users also connect to my VPN, and they're also untrusted. So we just took the number of trusted users and really enlarged it on the same VPN infrastructure, all using the same technology, right? So even before Corona, organizations started looking at how do I separate trusted users, employees, whether remote or working from home or on the road, from contractors, from third-party vendors. How do I separate them in terms of the access technology they're using, right? So this was a trend we've been seeing even before Corona. Now it just became even more pressing because the sheer number of untrusted users on VPN has grown. The solution for this, right, is zero trust, right? The zero trust strategy, which again started a few years back, has been really picking up speed 2019, 2020, and now even more with the whole Corona, is to change the way we look at access, right? Is to change the way we look at trusted users versus untrusted users. And within zero trust solutions, there's a sub-segment called Zero Trust Network Access, ZTNNA, or Software Defined Perimeter, SDP, as a different name. And the idea behind this technology, SDP or ZTNNA, is to act as a counterpart, a replacement, or an augmentation for VPNs in this whole world of untrusted users. If you think about how VPNs work, they work access first, authenticate later, right? I launch a VPN client, I connect to my VPN gateway, I get authenticated, and I'm connected into the network to do whatever I need to do. SDP and Zero Trust Network Access come to change this paradigm. We want to do authentication first, access later, and separate the two flows. The idea is to authenticate users off-site, if I can, and only after I authenticate them and know the group and their identity, only then provide them access to the specific applications they need to access, right? So it's not only authenticate first, access later, it's also application level access. No network level access anymore. And this is really important for non-employees. It's one thing connecting an employee who is trusted to the network. It's something completely different taking a non-trusted employee, right? Whether it's a completely new user, right, who's just now using their home machine, we can look at them as untrusted, or a contractor who is untrusted by definition. I don't want to connect these people, these users to my network. I want to connect them only to the specific applications they need in order to reduce the attack surface. So the only thing they can either attack on purpose or by accident is the specific slice of an application, not the entire network. To remove, so I'm removing users from my network. I reduce malware propagation, right? If this home user's home PC is infected, the only thing that PC might be able to infect after connecting is an application, not the entire network. Plus, SDPs are designed to support any type of user, as opposed to VPNs who are really targeted for these managed endpoints. So safety secure application access is our flavor of SDP, or Zero Trust Network Access. The idea is to provide secure access specifically to applications. We can support any type of application. It could be pretty much any TCP-based application, SSHs, RDPs, SFTPs, file shares, could be mainframes, could be any web servers, SharePoint, any back-end system you might think about that you need to connect to, we can support, right? Whether it's on-premise or in the cloud like GitHub, for example. So we don't care where it is located. In terms of deployments, we support both on-prem deployments if you want to take the entire solution and host it in your environment, or as you can see here, our cloud version where you as a customer host the access controller which sits in your LAN, and that connects out over our patent, our reverse access outbound technology, to the safety cloud. So you can choose how you want to consume and how you want to purchase the safety solution, right? On-premise, you own everything, you manage everything, both the gateways and the access controller, or a cloud where, again, you manage your controller, safety has dedicated gateways in our cloud for you. So it's completely flexible in terms of the deployment. It's also flexible in the sense that we're completely clientless. You will see this in the demo. You don't need to install anything on the user's machine and nothing on the server. So it's agentless and clientless. We can work side by side your VPN, which means some of your users on your VPN, some of the users on the secure application access. For example, employees on the VPN, contractors on the secure application access. We can work completely instead of your VPN, which means you migrate all of your users to our solution, or we can work with your VPN, where we sit after the VPN and add, you can look at it as kind of a SDP or Zero Trust layer on top of your existing VPN infrastructure. We can support any type and number of users. Could be mobile devices, could be home computers, could be applications trying to connect to any application, and we're very scaled in the number of users we can support, right? So you get here time saving. It's very simple. We'll see this. Very easy to deploy users, very easy to connect. When the whole COVID situation started, we launched a campaign. We'll show you a bit about it later on, inviting people to join our cloud service for a 90-day free of charge use. And any customer that joined, in about 3 hours, they were up and running, right? We were up and running with deploying a machine and connecting users. So it's very, very fast. From today to tomorrow, you can have all your users connected. What we offer on top of our secure application access, which is, we call this the plus in safety SCP, the uniqueness. Like I said, our patents. So from a security perspective, not only do we authenticate prior to access, from a networking perspective, your entire network is locked to the outside world, right? As you can see here, the arrows are always pointing out, these yellow arrows. That represents our patent. Our controller dials out to the safety cloud or dials out to the internet. There's no need to open up your firewall. So we're really reducing your attack surface. We can do user behavior analysis to determine if your users who went through authentication are doing stuff which is not allowed, right? So we can also detect anomalies in behavior. We can expose file shares. Today, a lot of organizations still use NTFS storages. And if I want to connect from home to my NTFS storage, to my map drive, if you will, today you need a tunnel-based VPN and you expose SMB. We know to expose SMB either as SMB or as HTTPS without tunneling the user into the network, without exposing your firewall. That's unique to us. And like I said, we support any TCP-based application, not only web, not only RDPs or SFTPs, could be SSHs, mainframes, etc. So what do you get from our solution, right? You get high levels of security, no lateral movement, right? Users are not on the network. They're doing application layer access. So there's no lateral movement. You're connected only to the application you're allowed. We can remove vulnerable protocols from your network. You don't need to expose SMBs anymore because we can convert with our technology, if you want, SMB to HTTPS. So your users will connect to the file shares, but over HTTPS. We also prevent malware propagation, again, because your users are connected to the application, not to the network. And with our reverse access, we reduce your attack surface. Your firewalls are only configured from the inside out. There's no need to configure your firewall for incoming traffic. It's very simple, right? You can very fast onboard users. In a matter of hours, all of your users can work remotely. So from a time to market, it's very fast, it's seamless and clientless. Nothing has to be installed on your user machine. You don't need, training is very, very simple. It's agentless. You don't need to install anything on your servers again, as well. Sorry. It's also cost effective in terms of pricing. There's basically user-based pricing. We don't, no hidden costs as you look at it. And the TCO of launching a service, again, very low, so you're reducing manpower costs as well. And again, flexibility, clientless. It could be IoT devices, could be clientless, so we're very flexible to the type of users. You can choose the deployment option, on-premise, cloud, etc. So we talked about the solution. Now let's see a live demo of what it looks like. Okay, so what we're seeing here, this is the user portal, right? This is what a user sees when they try accessing a resource, right? As you can see, basic user portal, all you need to tell your users in order to access is give them this URL, and you'll see we can support multiple type of flows. So what you see here is the flow. So we'll start with the basic flow of username and password vis-a-vis some Active Directory. So this portal is hosted, in case you're taking the safety cloud, the user sees this when he hits the gateways on the safety cloud. If the gateways are deployed on premises in your organization, then your gateways would be hosting this web portal. But the controller in the LAN is the component controlling everything. It continuously goes out to the gateways, and if a username and password is inputted, as here, it retrieves the credentials from the gateway and goes to the authentication tier. So we'll start with a basic user, in this case, Eitan Bremler. Input my username, input my password. Again, there's no connection from the gateway here, from this off gateway to the Active Directory in the LAN, because the controller is going out, retrieving the credentials, and it goes to the on-premises, in this case, Active Directory. Once I authenticate the user, I recognize the group the user belongs to. In this case, Eitan belongs to IT. He's allowed to access GitHub, our SSH server, and our RDP server. And at this point, we also open up the gateways to allow access. So only now can I access my RDP? Now, the nice thing here, this is native RDP. We just have a shortcut here to launch my RDP client. I don't need anything installed on my machine. This is native RDP. To do this with a VPN, I need to be tunneled into the network. But here I can do native RDP, native SSH, all without launching, all without being tunneled into the network. Again, this is a shortcut, so I can launch my SSH, I can launch my RDP, and those point to the safety gateways. And from the safety gateways, I connect them into the Hi, I apologize for being disconnected. There was a problem with my son. So as you can see here, like I said, Johnny is a different user, right? And he sees different systems. Now, if we continue the flow, we'll see a different flow for authentication. In this case, a username and password with a duo second factor, right? The nice thing here is safety solution is fully integrated with systems such as Duo, such as Okta. In this case, as you can see here, after I inputted my username and password, I popped up the second phase, which is the Duo connector. And as you can see, my mobile phone here got a push message. I approve the message, and I am authenticated, right? So you can combine multiple flows in terms of access and authentication. We can also do integration with Okta based on SAML. So you have different types of solutions supported on the same system. So going back to the presentation, as you can see here, this is the Corona campaign we talked about, right? So when the whole situation started with the Corona and we really recognized people need to connect from home, we launched our service, join our solution for 90 days in order to test the solution free of charge. And the impact was very big. We got a lot of customers pretty fast in order to test the solution, onboarding in a matter of hours. So I'll give you a few examples, right, of customers that joined our service, right? So as I said, we launched the service. People contacted us to join the solution, right? And very fast, we were onboarding them. So let's see a few of the customers, right, that joined our solution. Okay, the first customer who joined our solution was a fast food company, right? This is a big chain of restaurants who were not used to working remote, right? All the office managers were used to go into their relevant restaurant, and work on their terminal in their restaurant. Same was for the management of this chain. Suddenly, with the corona, they had to send all the employees home. Everything went to delivery. All the managers, employees, administrative users had to work from home. So they need a very easy way to connect to their stores, to their data center. So they joined our safety SDP service, the cloud service, right? They deployed the control that connected to the safety cloud. They deployed RDP servers, connected to the RDP, very, very easy. Each user connected their own RDP user, and from that jumps to the back-end application. A second use case, this is a university here in Israel. Again, faculty, administration, all of these were used to go and work from the university premises. And now they had to all go and work from home. So they very fast deployed our solution. In this case, Active Directory is a second factor from Azure Active Directory. For some users, other users got a second factor over SMS. And again, very, very fast. Switched on the service and joined it very fast. And last, another food company. Again, same use case, right? All, as you can see here, RDPs, SSHs, very similar use cases. All of these organizations suddenly need to connect users from home to on-premises computers. Okay, so that summarizes the slides and the demo we wanted to cover. I see we have some questions from the audience. If you have other questions, feel free to write them now. So one of the questions was, can we detect data leakage or unauthorized data sharing by an employee? So at this stage, no, because we only handle access, right? We don't control, we don't do data leakage. So if someone is trying to steal data, we won't see this. With our UBA component, you will be able to see unauthorized web behavior, for example, going to pages you're not supposed to, etc. But we're not a data leakage system. Another question was, do we have a user limit? So each solution is designed for a few thousands of users. And if you need to go above that, right, then it's just a matter of adding more machines or more for scale. Another question is, how easy is it to go live? Very fast. Matter of hours, you can go live. We send you a link. You download the access controller. You deploy it, right? And you start onboarding users. So it's very, very fast. In 2-3 hours, you can really go live. These are the questions we had from the audience. If there's any other questions, we'll allow you to raise them now. Okay, so there are no other questions. I want to thank you for your time. Feel free to download the attachment we have here, or click the link to join our free SDP for 3 months service. Feel free to contact us if you have any other questions, and of course this webcast will go live following this session. Thank you very much.